Hi you guys, I just wanted to tell you right fast on a shorter video on how I made my Irish pot roast. So you need to get carrots, that's one of the important ingredients for this pot roast, and I just made it in the crock pot. It's that time of year. Anyways, you need to get your carrots, make sure all your vegetables are washed up and cut. I would cut all my vegetables for this recipe for the Irish style pot roast about anywhere from like an inch at least or a half inch up to 4 inches long, especially on your carrots. So I used a whole bag of carrots. Um, you just, like I said, make sure that all your vegetables you're going to be using is washed and cleaned. You'll put your roast on the bottom of your crock pot first, and then you'll put a half a stick of butter, and then I used a bag and a half of the small potatoes, that's little round potatoes. You just want to cut off all the bad spots in your potatoes too, like anywhere there's like a little speck of like a black spot or a dark spot, you want to go ahead and cut that off, even on the little bitty round ones, because more than likely that's like a rotted spot. Even if it don't look like it, it more than likely is. And then I used one whole celery stalk. The main thing for an Irish pot roast is the potatoes and carrots. And then I used one whole celery stalk. And the reason you want to kind of cut your vegetables chunky is because I was taught whenever I used to work at a restaurant as like a prep cook and a waitress, you always cook for females. Like, obviously, males and females are going to eat, but you always prepare to cook for females. Like, it's like food manners wise, for a female, if she's holding like a fork and holding fruits or vegetables or whatever on her fork, she doesn't want to open her mouth all the way. So you cut your produce like a half an inch up to like 2 to 4 inches or whatever. But for the Irish pot roast, you want your vegetables to be chunky, like, anyways. As you can kind of see, I've already made it and stuff. But as far as seasonings goes, you'll use salt. You just do everything to taste. That's how I cook and stuff. And you use pepper. But you'll use like lots of pepper for an Irish pot roast, more so than normal. And then I used a half a box of beef broth, and I used one dry seasoning pack of Italian seasoning, and one dry ranch seasoning pack, and I used 2 packets of dry gravy mix, brown gravy mix, because that's another important ingredient in Irish pot roast is the brown gravy mix. Um, so the most important ingredients in an Irish style pot roast is your carrots, your potatoes, your pepper, your brown gravy, and your beef broth, and obviously the roast itself. And then I did cut up one bell pepper. You don't normally put like, the only vegetables you really have to have in an Irish pot roast is carrots, potatoes, and celery. You don't have to have like the bell pepper or onions. I did cut up like 3 onions just because I like onions, but necessarily you wouldn't put that in an Irish style pot roast. And anyways, I just cooked it overnight, and now it's done, and I'll show you guys in a plated up video what this looks like. So this is what it looks like as you're cooking it and stuff. But you only have to use the brown gravy mix. My local grocery store does not have it, but it's called, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it the right way or not, it's called a jus gravy or a juice gravy. It's kind of like a thicker, brothier type gravy. But like I said, my local grocery store does not have that. That's why I use the 2 packets of brown gravy and put the beef broth in. I also put probably like 1 bottle of water in too. But that's all the ingredients I used. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye bye.